Here we are, part 14 of the Corvette build, and probably the final one for now. As you can see, finally got the exhaust in, and we're gonna work on getting her wrapped up and get her ready to go race. Let's get started. I purchased a stainless steel mounting kit for the front and rear bumper. The rear bumper was no problem because you can get to all the holes. But when you put this front bumper on the car, you can't get to the holes from the back to put the brackets in. So what I did, I'm taking Gorilla Tape and taping them into place so that when I put the bumper on the car, they all stay in place and I should be able to access them then. And if the Gorilla Tape falls off later, I don't care, but this stuff is pretty sticky. It'll probably stay there forever. That makes it pretty solid. Time for brake upgrade. I bought the Wilwood Superlight kit. Gets to go with the Ridetech suspension. I did see multiple comments, people saying, oh, you're just adding a bunch of weight to the car. But I've already weighed calipers, and the calipers weigh half as much as the factory ones do. These are 4-piston cast calipers. So as I take it all apart, I'm gonna weigh all the parts and we'll do a comparison, but let's get started. All right, first step is to install the wheel studs. Now there's two different mounting patterns here according to the direction. You have 5x4.5 and 5x4.75. By the way, when you're running a Ridetech front suspension on the C3s, you have to buy the Camaro 67 to 69 Camaro front set and then the Corvette rear set. So we test fit everything together, and what I'm checking for, in accordance with the instructions, is that the caliper mounting bracket is parallel to the rotor. See down here, it's kind of hard to see, but those gold pieces, those are 3/32 shims, and they have you start with 3. When I measured it the first time, I was a 32nd off at the bottom, so I added one, and that got me parallel. So what you're checking is this surface to this surface to make sure that they're parallel to each other. Now I can disassemble it and put everything together for the final time. Okay, so the instructions had us do a bunch of assemble, disassemble, and change out shims to adjust. First, we adjusted the bracket parallel in the back to the rotor, and then through the video, you'll see that I adjusted the center of the caliper to make sure the rotor was in the middle, but I actually had to remove a shim from the recommend. And then we also shimmed it to make sure that the pads were flush with the outer diameter of the rotor. So it should be good now. They have finally arrived. I think I've been waiting right about a year since I put my name in the hat with Custom Image Corvette. They finally got these produced, so we're gonna get them installed. Alright, I ran into some problems getting the exhaust installed. And the problem is you can't use the BRP hot rod engine mounts because it mounts the engine actually 1 inch forward of the factory mounting. So I had to switch to the custom image Corvette LS swap mounts, which actually moved it back 2 inches and down some from where the BRP mounts were. So of course that made a whole lot of issues. For one, I had to have the drive shaft shortened 2 inches. The transmission mount that I had didn't work anymore. I actually had to modify the mount itself so that it sits down inside the cross member. It did free up some room up front, for the air filter and accessories, which wasn't really a problem, but it did help. So I would recommend these mounts either way. They actually use a factory polyurethane mount. So that's plus, that's easy parts to replace. A little bit on fitment. These things are tight with the 2 inch primaries. You can see how close it is to starter. It's not hitting, but it is really close. But other than that, they fit really well. I went ahead and I put fire sleeve over the fuel line to make sure we keep everything cool as can be. I had to get new lines for the clutch master because it made them too short, and they were right up here, right next to the exhaust. So I got longer lines so I could route them and mount them down below. Other than that, once I had the mounts in the right place and everything fixed, they installed pretty easily. So I did run them without baffles to start, and that is ridiculous. I do not recommend it. So I put some baffles in. I have 2 sets of baffles in case I don't make sound at the track. I have another set that'll be more restrictive. But yeah, there we go. The exhaust is installed. So I know somebody commented on about rubbing in the front. So you can see right there, that's the only rub that I get, and it's not bad, and it's not leaving any marks on the tire, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Everything else is good, and it's the same way on both sides. Now in the rear, and only on the passenger side, I'm rubbing. You can see here, this is the metal bracket that the factory seatbelt bolts to from the inside, and then right here, I have a little bit, and this one up here is actually leaving some marks on the tire. Not bad, but I think what I'm gonna do, I don't really want to try to pound that in because I might break the fiberglass, but I think I'm going to just take the sander and the grinding wheel, and I'm just going to grind that down and see if I can get it to clear. Because it's just, you can see it's hitting, but it's not by a ton. So yeah, I'm going to work on that. And then that should be the last thing. Well, I need to put these doors back in. I need to vacuum that out, and I never installed those doors. So I need to put those back in, and then I think she'll be ready to go to autocross. Something I forgot to mention about the exhaust was I was running the C5 Batwing oil pan, and it wasn't even close to clearing, so I had to switch to an F-body oil pan, which is no big deal. But you can see there's, you probably can't tell, but there's actually an extra 2 inches between the spreader bar and the harmonic balancer, which it was, not even a quarter of an inch before. So that's how much room. I did break the heater core in the process of moving the whole drivetrain back. That's why this is looped, and I'll have to take the whole box back out and replace that. I don't need a heater for now. One other thing that happened was the shift plate. So I made the whole console plate, and it fit, but after moving everything back, it didn't fit anymore. I also had to cut the tunnel out some more and move all of that back, make a new plate for in there, but all that's been put back together, and I don't have any aluminum stock to make another one right now. I'll have to get some, so that's why that one's still in there for now. But yeah, and I mounted fire extinguisher. It's always a good idea. So, but there we go. So far, it's turned out really good, and it's fun to drive. It drives really well. It's nice and smooth. So we're ready. We're gonna go test out some autocross next weekend. Hopefully I'll get some video. Thanks for watching.